Yeah, and you can give us the track intro. We're waiting for. $15. Oh, just give a couple more minutes. $16. All right. Who else are we waiting on? Jules Daniel. Come on. Make sure you pick your teams as well. Being Oceania like a fan. Looks like we might not get too much more. Except maybe Jules Daniel if he decides to join or not. Give it another minute or two. Who are we missing? Jules Daniel. Bonnie Lingard. I think it's just Jules Daniel and Bonnie Lingard. Invite them one more time if they don't. Oh, who joined? Jules Daniel. I'll give Bonnie Lingard one more chance and then we'll just start. Oh, thank you, Gordo. Great spot from you. Could have gotten a bit of trouble if I missed that. Ah, fantastic.
Alrighty.
Welcome back, Dex. I nearly forgot to change the corner cutting, so that could have been disastrous.
Is everyone here?
Everyone except for Bonnie Lingard, but I think this is probably as good as we're going to get.
Righto.
Alright, so let's get it underway. Everyone can now ready up. Alright. 17 driver race, that's not bad at all. Alright, Dex, over to you.
Alrighty. Well, Bahrain. Cannot wait for this, to be honest. I hate driving this track, but I mean, like, which means it should be pretty interesting. Yeah, can't wait for this qualifying, JDOS. Just waiting to see who will exit the pits first as the timer starts to tick down just a tad.
Yeah, we got all the big guns today. I'll get the standings up. Jules Daniel in the lead of the championship. Has been absolutely dominating. The only race he didn't win was that one in Spa 2 weeks ago, which obviously we have very fond memories from. I'm a Nubatron, not far behind at all though, only 9 points back to Boy Luke in third. Haroldinho fourth, and then Isai and Rhinos had a very unlucky set of races. Follows that in fifth. Qualifying is underway, and a Ferrari is going to be first to exit, and that is going to be Slickers. As we'll go down and we'll follow him out onto the track.
Well,
there's quite a few coming out now.
Now, JDOS, do you want some background information?
I'd love some background information on Bahrain.
Circuit. So, the Bahrain International Circuit, or pronounced Bahrain Dalawiya, was actually opened in 2004 and was previously used for drag racing, Formula 2, and then the annual Formula 1 Bahrain Grand Prix. Its time zone is UTC plus 3 hours. The coordinates are 26 degrees, I don't know how to read that. Anyway, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting circuit. 5.412 kilometers, and it is the only circuit to date that has more than 2 possible layouts.
Wow,
which is pretty interesting. Well, more than 2 possible layouts that have been used for Grand Prix.
Okay.
Which is quite sensational, I think. Well done to the Bahrainian people. To Herman Tilke, actually, who designed it.
Yeah,
Go him.
There is a bit of heat around the Bahrain air, which is why they like to have it at night, Dex.
Exactly.
As we follow David Up in the Haas, who had an interesting British Grand Prix, a lot of errors, but let's see if he can hold a lap together here early in this qualifying. As usual, yellow flags all over the place. Takes on turn 1, and he has gone quite wide, and I think that might have ruined his lap before it begins. So we'll have a look at Slickers now, Dex, and you can take us through how the Bahrainian track, what do you need to do to get a good lap in?
Alrighty. Well, I'll do my best, JDOS, as he comes up towards the second real corner, these hairpins, and approaches the twisting, curving, sets a purple first sector that is quickly...
It's spun all the way around.
The rear end, went too hard on the accelerator, exiting that little chicane. Be careful not to get in the way of the Alfa Romeo, who is coming past. And that's a ruined lap for our Slickers, but he did set a fastest Sector 1 for about 0.35 seconds, but that's alright.
I'm looking at Dulles Daniel now, who's setting a hot lap early in this qualifying session, which is unusual. He usually waits until the end and just tries to get one cracking lap in. But I have a feeling he's being slowed down a little bit by OCA Extra in front. And very interesting style of driving Dulles Daniel, as he is very late on the gear change, as you can see by the what is it next? The telemetry or
telemetry.
Telemetry.
Yeah,
and that slicker's going off. And that is an almost spin for OCA Extra. Dulles Daniel manages to avoid all the carnage. Dr. X Amy sets a 131, which I assume won't stand as the fastest lap for long. It doesn't. Gordo with a very nice lap of 129.6. But we'll have a look at Dulles Daniel as he crosses the line. And of course, he goes faster the championship leader with a 129.2. And you love to see that. Iron Rhino slots in just behind him. And Skits looks to be on an out lap. We'll watch Zippy Bumper 69 in the AlphaTauri, who has put together a somewhat tidy lap, although it won't be good enough to challenge the top positions, and it'll put him in 7th.
It could just be me, Jados, but I'm pretty sure his front wing is very low. Which I think he's done a custom
Zippy Bumper.
Zippy Bumper. Yeah, he could have adjusted the downforce on his car, because I've never seen an F1 2022 car have a front wing that low.
I do tend to agree with you there. Looking at Charles Leclerc in front of him, they have quite a incredible difference in the closeness of the front wing, which might be a qualifying advantage, but maybe not in the race or vice versa. I'm not sure.
To be honest,
Gordo might be setting up, or maybe coming into the pits. I think a few cars are starting to pit. Beano CE hasn't set a lap yet. I think he's on one. As we have a look, flying through the first sector, we'll see how his times stack up, because I think he's been out there for a while. And a 29.1, as we'll follow his on board as he goes into easily the toughest part of the track, and the famous turn 9-10 that no one really likes on this track. If you clip that outside curb, you spin very easily in this game now. And I think he's going to be a little bit behind on this lap. Probably not challenging for the top positions as we go down the third straight. There's a lot of straights on this track. Sector 2 is a bit twisty and turny. Yeah. As he hits a purple sector, does Beano CE. Can he hold it together through the final part of the lap? This is my personal favourite sector. You really get some good momentum down this back straight before the final corner. Clips the curb a little bit. And let's see what time he can come up with as the DRS flicks on. And it's a 130.7. So obviously very strong in Sector 2, but a bit slower on the straights is Beano CE.
There's a lot of room to improve. Given he's around 1.5 seconds off, but...
and Laker fan goes 5th as well.
That's huge from him. Laker fan doing better than the Los Angeles Lakers.
Laker fan yet to score in this in the championship so far.
Well, today's the day that changes, Jados. I'm vouching for it.
And we'll have a look at Yeet McFleet, who was very competitive last week. Dex, you can take us through his first hot lap of the session.
DRS, I love that home straight. Yellow flag in Sector 1, just ahead of him, but he seems unfazed. Now, heads into the second straight of his run, and he's got a couple cars in front, but I think he should be alright on the cheeky little soft tyres. Goes around pretty well. Now, the quick winding, he downshifts a couple, then back onto the accelerator, approaching turn, I think it's 8, this one. My B-reel's just gone off. But anyway, he approaches turn 9, goes round this, then the disastrous turn 10. He seems to handle it pretty well. Went slightly wide on the exit, but that's alright. Flicks the DRS open. He's got about half charge left in his ERS. Now he's much closer to the Alfa Romeo and Williams, but the Alfa Romeo lets him past. the Alpine, my mistake. I just see a glimpse of purple of his second sector. Had it for just a second, I think. Anyway, down the back straight, as you said, Jados, this is one of the best third sectors on the calendar, I reckon. Round the reasonably quick last corner and hits the timing screen. What's it going to go? It's 1:29.5. That is very, very,
OCA extra crossing the line as well. Goes 7th fastest with a 1:30.6. I think Bahrain's a very niche circuit. I reckon you're either good at it or you tend to struggle on it a bit. There's no real middle ground. So don't be surprised if the order changes up a little bit today from what it usually is. We'll follow Ice Iron Rhino, who might be on a lap. I think he is. As he takes on Sector 1 in his pursuit of pole position. Can we get a lap into the 128s this session? Very much hope so. A technical Sector 2 definitely requires the most skill as he beats his first sector only just. And he makes his way down to this famous section of track, the turn 9, turn 10. Can he hold it together? If you nail this corner, you can really gain a few tenths, and he's done pretty well. Slight amount of oversteer, corrects it well. Doesn't lose too much time at all. And now going into this left-hander. Goes a little bit wide, uses all of the track. And now one of the cleanest corners in the game if you get it right, Dex. And he does. And he is almost a tenth up. Good enough for second if he holds it together. Maybe not fast enough for first. And someone has gone off, and that might be, yep, it's a retirement to Dr. X Amy. Only able to put in a 1:31. As Ice Iron Rhino crosses the line. Has he held it together? Jules Daniels sets the fastest lap. Ice Iron Rhino does not improve by 3 thousandths. Just a slight slow down, and we do get into the 128s with Jules Daniel. That is a top-notch lap time from the Div 1 race winner earlier today. Can he do it again? It's looking a lot like that at the moment, Dex.
It is. I mean, I think Jules Daniels. He's very impressive. I think this the strategy that is. I mean, what we haven't been accustomed to from him is working out amazingly, and he's a good second ahead of P2, and he just gets it.
Yeah.
If there's one person who gets the Bahrain International Circuit, or I'm not going to even pronounce that, but anyway, it is Jules Daniel, which is very impressive. But a lot of places up for grabs. Should be interesting. We still got 6.5 minutes left, and yeah.
Zippy Bumper is going a bit faster in the first sector in the Alpha Tauri, and he's gone a little bit wide into that corner. I think. Well, he went off the track, didn't invalidate though, but that's going to slow him down significantly into the rest of this lap. And there's a spin into that famous corner. You could see that coming from a mile away, unfortunately. And he'll have to go back into the pits and have another go, unfortunately, for Zippy Bumper. As we're going to look at the other Aston Martin of Charles Leclerc, who actually, he had an incident with J-Man in qualifying in the Div 1 race earlier today. Not sure if you heard about that one.
J-Man. Well, you see, the name seems familiar.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
He's pretty bad at driving, but anyway, Charles Leclerc into the final corner. Can he improve on his 1:31.4 lap time? Maybe push into the top 10? No, he's pitting. Didn't like that lap, evidently. And we'll see if anyone is on a lap right now. Looks like Nuke OCE might be. Maybe not, I think he's a bit slow. And Laker fans going 3 tenths up though. Purple Sector 2, went a little bit wide. Manages to get away with it. That's the one place on the track you can get away with that. Trust me, I know, after the race today. Here's Laker fan coming to cross the line. Can he improve his position at all? And he has got up to 6 with a 1:30.1. and that is a very good lap. There's a clear difference between the top 5 and everyone else Dex, it seems.
Yeah, it is. The 129s are elusive as ever for the bottom 12. But I think as soon as you break into the 129s, I'm pretty sure that's a guaranteed. Well, I mean, it's a guaranteed top 10. But I mean, at this moment, it's looking like a guaranteed top 5. So, looks to be very interesting. Seeing everyone kind of push their car to the limits, but not past it, because otherwise you'll spin, and that's not good for anyone, is it, Jados?
Absolutely not. And Boy Luke has had a quiet qualifying so far. He'll be looking to put in one more good lap. And OCA Extra, I think, had a spin in Sector 2. He was 1/10 up on his best time, but he'll have to have another crack at it, unfortunately for him. As we look at Slickers, who I believe is on a lap in the Ferrari. 3/10 up on his current time. He'll need to make up a couple more tenths if he wants to improve his position, though. Through Sector 2. Very high chance of spinning here. Let's see if he can nail this corner. Stays away from the curb. And he's done alright there. Now down the straight. This corner is crucial for late in Sector 2. And he stays well away from that inside curb. Maybe brakes a little bit early. But now we go back around the right-hander. And he's almost a full second up on his current lap times. That's a very good sector from him. And this could potentially put him up to 10th or 11th in the standings. It's all about this final corner, though, and the exit. And the run to the finish line for Slickers. Can he crack into the top 10? And he's going to go 11th with a 1:30.9. Very impressive, considering his previous position. And Dex, take us through to Boy Luke to see if he can get a top 3 for McLaren.
Alrighty, turn 9 needs to be very careful. I think he slowed up. I think
I need an invite
some...
back to the session, Dex. I lagged out.
Yeah, sure. He copped a bit of traffic in his corner, in his pursuit, and has pulled out a lap, which is unfortunate for him. But I reckon he'll have another go, and should be. Let's see. Hold on, I'm just figuring out how to invite someone. How do I do that?
Just have a look in settings if possible.
Nah, there's nothing. Well, because I don't think I'm the host.
You're able to tell who is. Maybe if you go into the race director, you'll be able to see.
Oh yeah, bet. Nah, can't see.
I'm just going to end the broadcast for a moment.
Easy.
Alright, apologies for that. But we are back and raring to go for this round 4 of Div 2. I'm back in, Dex.
That is good. Great news.
Who's on pole?
It is Dulls Daniel.
Oh, hey. Did you send me a photo of the order?
Oh, I will right now, actually. We have... Second. We have Dulls Daniel
Gordo
on
in
pole.
second.
Yeah, it was impressive from him. Yeet McFleet in third. Iso and Rhino locks out the
Alright,
second
well,
row.
the lights are coming on. And we are underway, and Dulls Daniel doesn't get off the line well at all. And he has dropped all the way down. And now Yeet McFleet inherits the lead of this race. And DeBoy Luke down on the inside. Laker fan up into third as well. Iso and Rhino trying to go down the inside. And he's been tapped by Almanubatron. Charles Lachair is out. And DeBoy Luke is into the lead. And that's a 5-second penalty for OCA Extra with a collision with Dulls Daniel. And where is Dulls Daniel is my question.
He's 11th.
He's 11th. And we have a safety car already. Charles Lachair out of the race. And big penalties already. Skits, OCA Extra and Zippy Bumper. And that is a nightmare start for Dulls Daniel. What has happened here in Bahrain? Been OCE into the podium places as well. As we look for position change. And DeBoy Lucas jumped from 5th to 1st. In the space of 2 corners. Yeet McFleet up into 2nd. Been OCE in 3rd, Laker Fan 4th, Imanubatron 5th, Iso and Rhino loses out, Gordo loses out as well, and Dex, what an incredible start to this race.
Yeah, it's mental. It's all happening. I mean, Dulls Daniel failed to, turn his car on. It looks like he fell all the way down to around 14th, and then recovered a couple positions, and then the safety car was called. But that is. That, it could cost him, to be honest, because there is some top quality drivers in this lineup. So it'll be interesting to see how he drives to recover his shocking start.
Yep. So the championship leader is out of the points, and we'll have to see who comes into the pits. Surely Zippy Bumper and OCA Extra and ISO Skits will have to. As we have a look, and Imanubatron's pitting. Does he have front wing damage? Potentially. Oh yeah, he did. He spun someone. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Gordo. And we've got 5 cars in the pits, looking for an early gamble. And there's a double stack at Alpine, which is costing Dr. X Amy a massive amount of time, as you can see there. And DeBoy Luke will be absolutely ecstatic with this start. He's been a bit unlucky in the last few races. He had a beautiful drive behind Yeet McFleet for a long time. In Spa, he was behind Dulls Daniel and then took the lead and spun 1 corner later. And Yeet McFleet is now behind DeBoy Luke. And this battle is resumed. We've got round 2 on here, Dex. Which I'm very much looking forward to.
I'm all for this. I'm all for it. Can't wait. I mean, we're under safety car, so it's just getting them more hyped, more amped up, and I'm either looking for a huge crash into turn 1, or I'm looking for some cracking racing all the way to the end of lap 29.
And good to see the 2 non-point scorers of this league are in the points as we speak, in Slickers and Laker Fan. And Bean OCE will be quite comfortable with where he is at the moment. Just shows all you have to do is avoid carnage on lap 1, and you can find yourself in a very good position. And everyone that's pitted will be very frustrated right now, but still not out of this race. There is plenty of racing to go. Lap 2 out of 29, as you can see. And who knows what's going to happen. Zippy Bumper still yet to get rid of his penalty. Is that a 5 second or a corner cutting? It's 5 seconds. So we got only Imanubatron on hards. I think it's very wishful thinking to say he's going to get to the end of the race on those. The bottom 4 all on softs, and Nuke OCE started the race on softs, which is he's the only one to do so out of all the drivers, which pretty much confines him to a 2-stop unless he thinks he can manage his tyres all the way to the end. And it'll be interesting to see what happens at this restart. Who will be willing to burn their tyres to try and get in track position. Yeet McFleet definitely looking to get a jump on Boy Luke at this restart. Almost rides into the back of him there. The curbs are very dangerous on Bahrain decks.
They are. They're absolute devil incarnates. Sorry, I just hate this track so much.
It's alright, you don't have to race on it.
Exactly.
So the safety car should be coming in this lap, and we'll be able to get racing underway again. We only got 2 corners of action last time, and we'll see how we go here. Boy Luke will lead us away from Yeet McFleet and Bean OCE. And Dulles Daniels somehow, he's found his way into 10th because Imanubatron pitted. And he'll be looking to get a very fast restart and stay out of some trouble also. As we get underway here for the second time of this race, Boy Luke looks to get a pretty good exit, and he's made a gap already on Yeet McFleet. As we move back down the order, Laker Fan being harassed by Ice Iron Rhino. Everyone trying to get some temperature into those tyres. And we look back, Imanubatron is trying to make a move on Dulles Daniel, but Zippy Bumper's going around the outside. He's broken extremely late, and he has gone off the track. And now Dulles Daniel just slips ahead. And Ice Iron Rhino, I think it was in an incident, and he's dropped down to 8th place behind Gordo and Slickers. Slickers trying to complete a move on Gordo. Tries to go down the inside. Couldn't quite get it done. Ice Iron Rhino's able to get back past him as a result. Zippy Bumper has had an incident. And Imanubatron as well. He's spun. He's down to the bottom of the standings. That is devastating for him. And Zippy Bumper has just overtaken 2 cars up into 12th position. And very chaotic restart here, as that's very late braking from Slickers as well, nearly running into the back of Ice Iron Rhino. So everyone now settling into their positions a little bit, Dex, and we'll stick with Laker Fan and Bean OCE in 2nd and 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's good that there wasn't too much carnage, or no much major carnage. I think a couple little niggles, a couple little bumps, and like that. That's, I think, enough for the lap 1 or lap 4 restart. But obviously, Laker Fan is looking to get up into the podium places.
Yeah, McFleet as well up front, Dex. And he has got some serious momentum, and he's going to go down the inside. Will he be able to make it stick?
Yes,
Boy Luke behind, and Yeet McFleet into the lead of the race. And Boy Luke back where he found himself last week, but he's coming back at him because he's got a fantastic exit. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get quite side by side, but he keeps the move open if he can get it done. He spun! Boy Luke has spun from just the slightest of contact with Yeet McFleet, and he's down to 6th, 7th as he gets passed by his teammate. Heartbreaking for Boy Luke, and that could have the potential to ruin his race. And Slickers has had a spin as well. He's onto the blue stuff, and he's down in 15th, and that is also pretty devastating for him. And OCE Extra trying to chase down Dulles Daniel. OCE Extra 4th place last week at Silverstone, and Laker Fan really catching up, and Nuke OCE as well. This could emerge into a 3-car battle for 2nd place. Bean OCE just hanging on. Laker Fan driving a brilliant race in 3rd. And Nuke OCE, he's He's been racking up the penalties the last couple of races, so I'm sure he'll be taking those corners carefully, Dex. As you can take us through this next part of the lap.
Right, well, obviously, Yeet McFleet 2.8 seconds already ahead, but the marquee signing, the marquee names, a Laker fan, Bean OCE and Nuke OCE, they could emerge into a bit of a three-car battle. Obviously, Laker fan, really keen. He is hot on the heels of that Haas of Bean. And Nuke OCE is sniffing up the exhaust pipe of Laker fan. Ice-On Rhino makes a cheeky little move on the inside of Gordo, but Gordo looks to come back. He's got DRS. They both have, actually. But he's around the inside. Can he make it stick? Ice-On Rhino. Oh, that is very close. But great attacking and defending in the same move from Ice-On Rhino as he needed to. That is amazing driving from both of them. Very clean driving, but very good driving as everyone approaches turns 9 and 10. We'll stick with Ice-On Rhino just for now. And everyone takes it pretty well, which is great to see.
Skits has spun, I think.
Has he?
Yep, on the far side of the track.
He's going very, very slowly. He's taxiing around this. Oh, he's gone again.
He has not had a great race, and Laker fan really closing up, and that is Nuke OCE doing some Tokyo drifting, and he manages to keep the car on the track. That is classy from him, but he will get passed by Jules Daniel. And that's probably one of the best saves I've seen so far in this league. Unfortunately, it won't help him position-wise. Gordo just a little bit too far back from Ice-On Rhino. And all these cars very close together. Jules Daniel up to 7th as he just sets the fastest lap as well. Boy Luke and Gordo getting quite close. Will Boy Luke have a go down the next straight? He's pushing Gordo through the track here. And he's going to get the DRS, but so is Gordo. But Boy Luke has the pace. Can he get it done? There's a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And Gordo tries the switchback, but he doesn't have enough pace. And Jules Daniel getting very interested behind as well. Manages to brake just in time. And Boy Luke wins out of this situation. And Gordo down into 6th. And Boy Luke is on a mission, Dex, to find his footing in this race.
Boy Luke he knows how much a spin can hurt his chances of a race win or some good points. But as I say that, Jules Daniel, he's going around the outside, but to no avail as of yet. Gordo staunch in defence.
Hang on a minute. Oh, wheel to wheel. Gordo just staying ahead, and Jules Daniel trying to go around the outside. Gordo cuts him off, but it leaves the inside open. And Jules Daniel will have great momentum. And I think he might have got the place, unless Gordo has another go back at him. Will he brake late? Will he try the switch back? He's going to switch back. Is he? And he should get the DRS down this long straight as well. And he's got some great momentum, has Gordo. And actually, I don't think he's got the DRS. I think Jules Daniel had it into the detection zone. But he's going to have a go regardless. That is a ballsy effort. And I don't think he's got it, no. Jules Daniel gets back through once again. And now Gordo will have to stick behind. This is some great racing. Ice-On Rhino gets past Bean OCE in the meantime and into the podium places. As we go back to Gordo, who's wheel-to-wheel with Jules Daniel, lets him through once again. This is great racing from these two drivers. Very, very cleanly battled. And I'm enjoying seeing Gordo back in Div 2. Recently went up to Div 1. But he is still reserving for J-Cup here today. As we go back to Ice-On Rhino, who is also on a mission. The McLarens are on fire in this race. Coming after second place Laker fan, who is really going to want to defend this second spot to try and register his first points this season. And Ice-On Rhino just sticking behind for the moment. If he can get a good exit out of the final corner, he should be primed for an overtake with the DRS. And he's done well. He's gained some good time there. Good exit from Laker Fan, though. Increases it. But Iceland Rhino is going to wheel him in quite quickly. There's the fastest lap. Can he get the pace? He's not even using the overtake. That's how much speed he has. Is he going to go for it? Oh, there's contact. Laker Fan has to take avoiding action. Iceland Rhino gets the place. Will he hang on to it? I think he will with that DRS. And he has driven the first 9 laps of this race quite beautifully, Dex.
Yes, he's been on top form in terms of overtaking in the early signs of this race, and I mean, who knows? You might see the 4.9 second lead yet McFleet has diminish quite rapidly if Iceland Rhino is to keep up. It's already gone down 2/10 as I'm waffling on. Anyways, the Laker Fan has dropped back just a tiny bit. Turn 10, bit of trouble, sorry. Dools Daniel, as I say that, is hot on the heels of Du Bois Luke. They both do have DRS. It's a bit of a DRS train right now. But he's keeping himself within striking distance. And we know how good Dools Daniel is, but also Du Bois Luke's McLaren is amazing tonight. He goes slightly wider than Du Bois Luke as they enter the second last corner. Du Bois Luke's gone off the track. Could give him a bit of a chance as they go down into the last corner. Tries to go around the inside, but to no avail. He switches back. Du Bois Luke goes off the track once again. Dools Daniel, he's on the inside. He's got great momentum. DRS wide open, both of them. But Dools Daniel has the better momentum, and he's got him. But Du Bois Luke, will he go down the inside? No, he doesn't. He holds. He holds himself. And Dools Daniel goes up to 5th, and that is just amazing patience from the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, Dools Daniel really wants to get himself back into this race after, unfortunately, having one of the worst possible starts he could have. And he's got a lot of work to do to get back into this race, but passing one of his championship contenders, Du Bois Luke, will not do him any harm at all. As Laker Fan is sticking to the back of Iceland Rhino. He hasn't quite pulled away from him yet, as Armin Ubertron and Haroldinho having a little bit of a scrap, and Armin Ubertron wins out on that occasion. As Dr. X Amy and Dab It Up come into the pits. And we should start to see a few cars coming in the next few laps. I think Nuke OCE, yep, he's come in as well. He's down in 11th. And there is someone off. I believe it's Skits again, who's been lapped by a few cars. There's Dools Daniel now on the back of Bean OCE, who has had quite a good race so far. But can Dools Daniel put him in a slightly worse position? He doesn't on that occasion, but he has the main straight, and he's done a lot of his overtaking here this evening. And it looks like the same will happen here as he breezes past with ease, gets another fastest lap. He is putting in the lap times right now, and I would not be surprised if he can pull this lead back. He's already close up to Iceland Rhino and Laker Fan. Beautiful driving from him. And Du Bois Luke also on Bean OCE. Does he have the momentum? They both have the DRS. Du Bois Luke closing and just stays behind for a moment. And he's looks to have a lot more pace, but he's not able to find a way past for the moment, Dex.
No, not as of yet, Jodos, to be honest.
Almost a spin there.
From who, sorry?
Du Bois Luke.
Boy Luke. I was just flicking down the viewing screens, and a couple people have pitted, so we will see.
Is a retirement?
It's Slickers, I think.
It is.
He stopped, and that is a safety car?
That's a safety car.
Which
all right.
Could see some people pitting.
Everyone's going to be diving into the pits now, Dex.
100%. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's usually when the medium tyres start to degrade just a tiny bit. We'll see Yeek McFleet, our race leader. He is wasting no time in getting into the pits. Iceland Rhino will follow suit, as will pretty much everyone, I believe.
Dools Daniel trying to make an overtake into the pit lane as well. That was very cheeky.
Do a little Sebastian Vettel from him, but that's all right.
Will anyone be able to make up a place in the pits? We will find out And there's some serious holding up here. I think Gordo got held up. Laker fan's being held up massively. He's down in 7th. And he finally gets released. And that is a big loss for Laker fan. Dulles Daniels found his way in 3rd. He's position now, and that is going to be big for his race. And this has worked out pretty well for Dulles Daniel, who we know is probably the fastest car on this track. And I'm a Nubatron has pitted onto the softs. So he's the only driver not on hards, no medium runners. And I'm an Ubertron on softs. That is his second pit stop, I believe. Those hards obviously not turning on for him. But that is very painful for Laker fan, who was running in the podium. And sometimes that's just how it goes with the safety cars.
There are some winners and some losers. Oh, and Gordo has just spun. That is very unfortunate.
He's lost places from that too.
Overtaken by his teammate as he resumes his pursuit. Oceania is obviously hot on his cheeks, but it's safety car, so it doesn't matter.
He's spun again, Gordo.
He's got overheated tyres. I'm pretty sure. I think he was trying to heat him up and then just I think did it a bit too well, or
I think he might have, yeah. And now he's down in 10th position.
From 6th.
Yeah, he was in 6th, now down in 10th, and that is probably the worst case scenario. I definitely know how that feels after crashing out under the safety car in Spa earlier this season. But yep, that is not great, but he is still in the race and anything can happen. So that is at least one positive. The McLaren's looking threatening once again. Everyone has been good on the corner cuts today. Obviously, Bahrain is a pretty easy circuit to stay within the limits. But that is an improvement from most of the drivers.
They've taken our words of advice by saying as long as you keep your noses clean, you could end up with a better result, especially because you don't know when safety cars are going to strike.
Exactly.
And, only zippy bumper, but that's alright.
Armin Nubatron has come back pretty well. He is the comeback king after falling down to last position into 7th. But he will need to pit again, while most of these drivers will definitely aim to finish the race on the hards. But it's obviously going to be a tough ask considering the amount of time still left. And we're going to look at Dulles Daniel here. Keep your eye on him for this restart. He has got some serious pace. And he'll be looking to jump on any advantage he can get. Oceania still on oldish hards. Those will definitely struggle to get to the end of the race. He's got to take those for 20 laps. And Dr. X Amy, that's a little bit of contact. Getting quite close there was the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo. And I believe we will get underway once again at the end of this lap, with Yeet McFleet remaining in the lead, similarly to last week, except wasn't able to hang on due to an array of penalties, speeding in the pit lane, plus a lot of corner cutting. Let's see if he can hang on this week. He won't be looking to make those same mistakes again.
The McLarens are looking very, very racy as they straddle Dulles Daniel. That is not the right word, but I'm going with it. But they are either side of Dulles Daniel, getting ready to pounce. The boy Luke is pulling a bit of a Max Verstappen on the Red Bull, as he is trying to urge the. But he's gone a lap too early. Actually, there's still one more lap, so never mind. Ignore me.
We're waiting for Skits to catch up, who was pretty much almost a lap behind, but now this safety car would have helped him out a lot. And someone has lost a lot of positions, and that's Zippy Bumper who's spun, And now he's down into 14th position. He already has 8 seconds worth of penalties, Dex, and that will cost him severely.
It will, but shouldn't have spun. And I think his 5 second was from like the first corner. I'm pretty sure, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, for Jules Daniel. So positions we've pretty much gone back to the status quo for the moment. Jules Daniel and Oceania Rhino in the top 3. Yeet McFleet still showing really strong signs. And Bean OCE still up there, but has dropped a couple. And Lakefan, obviously, with that unfortunate pit incident. Gordo and Nuke OCE have been exchanging places a lot under this safety car. And I think Gordo, he'll need to give that... Well, Nuke OCE has just lost 2 places. And I'm not sure if I don't think they're going to be given back. So I think Nuke OCE has just straight up lost 2 places and a 3-second corner cutting penalty to go with it. Which is extremely unfortunate. As the safety car comes in this lap to get racing underway once again. And Yeet McFleet will lead us this time. Last time, DeBoy Luke led us away, but unfortunately spun on the restart. But now Yeet McFleet, who led almost all the laps of the British Grand Prix, will lead us away for Bahrain. Ice Iron Rhino and Hot Pursuit. DeBoy Luke has already overtaken Jules Daniel. Is that allowed? DeBoy Luke has just come right up to the back. Whoa! And Jules Daniel has been hit, and so is DeBoy Luke. DeBoy Luke's in the pit lane, as is Jules Daniel. They've both been forced into the pit entry.
Lakefan just punted him.
Lakefan is hit. Gordo's hit. They're all off the track. I'm a Nubatron. And Lakefan, there's 4-car battle, and that is a spin. No, not quite. Lakefan pushes through. I'm a Nubatron. Around the outside, OC Extra couldn't quite get through. And ISO Skits has come up 2 places. I'm a Nubatron down the inside. Can he get 3 cars in 1 corner? No, he's been spun by Lakefan. Into the wall he goes, and so does Gordo. They are both out. And Skits has gained 5 places off the restart. And now there is 4 cars flying down to turn 8. Lakefan down the inside. And Dr. X Amy's up into 7th. And the Haas has gone off the track as well. And Zippy Bumper up into 9th. OCE Extra. Unbelievable what is happening right now. Lakefan surely doesn't have any of his front wing. Stunning. He does not have any of his front wing. Iceland Rhino stays behind Yeet McFleet while all that is going on. And Dr. X Amy down the inside of Lakefan. No front wing. He's still going to have a go. Let's Dr. X Amy through. He's now gained 7 places. And OC Extra also loses a place to Zippy Bumper. So Gordo down 10 to 12th. I'm a Nubatron down 7 to 13th. Jules Daniel down 13. And DeBoy Luke has spun. Has he made contact with Jules Daniel? He looks very frustrated in the way he's moving his car. And just as I say, Dex, that the status quo has been returned, it could not be more opposite.
Well, as you're saying that, Ice Iron Rhino is absolutely hounding. And yeah, off the restart, you think it's all going okay until Lakefan absolutely punts DeBoy Luke and Jules Daniel into the pit lane, almost as in, hey mate, have another pit stop on me. But you can't really be too happy about that. Jules Daniel, 31 seconds behind OCE Extra. DeBoy Luke already spun again. He has not pitted. He's just on old mediums. I think he has pitted though. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying.
And DeBoy Luke's in the pits again.
That is just far out. That is actually mental.
That is a ridiculous incident. It's quite similar to I believe it was it Mugello in 2020? Or somewhere where Giovinazzi got hit and the middle of the pack started racing while the front of the pack wasn't.
I think that was was it Portugal?
I can't remember where it was, but that was very odd. We'll have to definitely have another look at that because the camera angle I was on all you could see was Jules Daniel spinning. It was a helicopter shot. So I'll need to get some other perspectives on that. As the DRS comes on, Iceland Rhino won't get it for this straight, but he will for the next one. And it's just become a two-horse race now out front. The main threat of Jules Daniel has pretty much been eliminated from this race, with 12 laps remaining. Manubatron sets the fastest lap, and he's back up into the points. And Skits could not have had his fortunes turned around more, as he was having probably one of the worst races of his life, and he's now up into 9th place. Nuke OCE has found himself with a penalty, and he's getting quite close, and Yeet McFleet has a time penalty for corner cutting, and Iceland Rhino will be pretty happy with that situation as he now inherits the net lead of the race, and it could be a similar cat and mouse game to what we saw last week with the leader with a penalty, which is definitely going to be costly. And that's the second week in a row Yeet McFleet has got a penalty that could damage his race decks.
It is. I think it needs to watch it, especially on a track like Bahrain. It's very hard to pick up those penalties, and I mean, Iso and Rhino, we know he's a very clean driver in terms of penalties, and I mean, it'll be very hard to kind of force him into getting a penalty or waiting for him to make one on his own. But that's alright. Bean OCE is getting very racy with Nuke OCE, by the way. Nuke OCE, all this contact, and he spins out just before the pit entry, just like what his teammate did, and he'll fall down a few places. He might get handled by Zippy Bumper.
He's come into the pits.
I was just about to say he could have recovered a bit too late to enter the pits. Meanwhile, Iso and Rhino back up the front. DRS wide open. He's less than a tenth off. Yeet McFleet holds the inside line, but Iso and Rhino, he's almost. He had a little sniff, he had a little waft, but Yeet McFleet increases the lead back up to 3/10 as they come round turn 8. Both of them about a car length in front, I'd say, Yeet McFleet, maybe even 2. He's increasing it now round 9 and 10. Who can get the better exit? It's a very, very short DRS little straight, but it could be very crucial. Ice-Time Rhino, you can see on the timing screens. Never mind. It was well managed by Yeet McFleet. ISO skids. He needs to stop spinning if he actually wants to get points in this race. He's been handed a gift. He's been handed a present, and he needs to take it with both hands and rip open the wrapping paper.
Jules Daniel has lost a play. Oh, Laker fan has spun on Jules Daniel. He has made contact with him, and he has spun around, has Laker fan, and it's happened again, deja vu. But this time Laker fan was the one who suffered damage, and that I'm not sure. I think Laker fan could be getting an array of penalties coming his way after this race. And also, as we just saw, the 2 OCEs making contact, Bean and Nuke. And I'm not sure Nuke would be too happy about that. Iso and Rhino up front, still having a go, staying behind, playing a similar tactic that Du Bois Luke had, and that's a safety car.
That's a safety car.
That is a full safety car. That? I'm not sure who caused it. It might have been Skits, maybe, on his way in. No, I don't think so. Well, we have no idea how that safety car was caused, but what we do know is another interesting element added onto this race with 10 laps to go, Dex. And I guess we can break down some of the a bit of the situation that is going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I believe, I think everyone should pit if they can. Laker fans serving his penalty, but Jules Daniel has already pitted, so if his outlap's quick enough, he could gain a couple cheap places under this safety car. Because if I was them, if you have a spare set of mediums just lying around, even maybe a set of new softs could be a bit useful as the 2 leaders.
Well, Yeet McFleet is trying to fake him out, but he does go into the pits.
And so Iso and Rhino will not pit which could be very interesting as Bean OCE is pitting, Haldinho is not, Dr. Axami is not either, and as we just fall down, Zippy Bumper is going into the pits, as is Iman Nubatron, David up, and I believe Gordo is as well. So
I think
Isign Rhino, very interesting.
We'll drive through for Nuke.
That's rough. Jados, what do you think of Isign Rhino's strategy?
I think he was thinking whatever Yeet McFleet does, I'm not going to do, and I don't blame him, to be honest. 8 lap old hards. Those hards can comfortably take 15 laps, and those hards are only probably about 5 laps of actual racing old. So I think he's very comfortable hanging on to those hards to the end of the race. But Yeet McFleet is only going to be 3 spots behind him on the new soft, so that is going to be the major worry. Haroldinho has come up out of nowhere into second place, and Dr. X Amy in the podium positions as well. But Dr. X Amy's hards, I think, will struggle on the restart. I'm the Nubatron's up into 6th again. He's gone from bottom 4 to up into the top places twice in this race. And I'd like to see his overtaking perspective. I reckon he's overtaken about 30 cars in this race. It's actually pretty unbelievable. To Boy Luke in last, Jules Daniel in 13th. They will be absolutely fuming at what has happened, and Laker fan splits them, funnily enough. So we'll keep our eye on the back of the pack at this restart as well, because that could get a bit personal. We'll look at the penalties quickly, Dex. Haroldinho and Yeet McFleet both have 3 seconds.
They do. So Dr. X Amy is actually net second, and Bean OCE is what, net third?
Yeah, net third.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that Haroldinho and Yeet McFleet have to make up. Obviously, Yeet McFleet on fresh softs, and if he gets stopped from overtaking Isign Rhino, Haroldinho, or Dr. X Amy in the first, I reckon, 3-4 laps of this after this restart, I think that the softs will lose their edge, and it'll be very hard for him to come back, especially given this is such a long circuit, and Isign Rhino is on relatively fresh hards, which obviously do have the longer lifespan.
Oh, Yeet McFleet has just crashed into the back of Dr. X Amy. Was he pushed from behind? Either way, his front wing is gone, and his race as well. Yeet McFleet was primed to come back into this race with a set of new soft tyres, but that opportunity has just been taken away from him. I'm not sure who he's hit by. It might have been Iman Nubatron, or if he just didn't see the braking zone, or he was brake checked, one of the three, and I think it was Bean OCE that didn't have his front wing. So Bean OCE doesn't have his front wing, so I think they might have been involved in an incident. That is stunning. I can't believe that.
Oh my goodness. This really shakes things up, because Yeet McFleet will drop, I can imagine, to the back of the very back of the grid, behind the Boy Luke and Laker fan. Jules Daniel has picked up a place due to Zippy Bumper.
I went in the pits, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that is extraordinary. Yeet McFleet, he, as you said, he was primed to rocket back into this race, but I mean, yeah, there's not much he can do now. Obviously, I didn't get a great perspective, but if it was
about 5 seconds for Bean OCE. That just adds insult to injury. And I was about to say, Yeet McFleet had an extremely good strategy, because he knew that he probably wasn't going to make up those 3 seconds on Isign Rhino with the same compound of tyre. So getting onto the softs was actually a really smart decision from him. But we never got a chance to see if it was going to work out. we were robbed of that opportunity. But now Haroldinho will be licking his lips, as will Dr. X Amy, who is in third, net second, and Nuko Sier's hit someone. I'm a Nubatron it was, and Skits is off the track, and I think that could have been frustration, and now there is just absolute carnage. Jules Daniel has a 5-second, and Laker fan trying to get out of the way of all this carnage. And I didn't see the cause. It looks like Skits is just racing Gordo. And he goes down the inside. But there is some absolute shenanigans going on under this safety car. And I'm not sure who was the cause of that. Maybe it could have been Nuke OCE. OCE Extra has spun. And that drops him down to 13th. And Jules Daniels back into the points as a result. This is stunning stuff. OCE Extra gets the places back, though. Are they illegally gained? No, he's just overtaking everyone. He can't do that. Maybe he can. Safety car in this lap. Well, hopefully we can get some... And Dr. X Amy has just hit Haroldinho. Hopefully, look at all the cars packed up back there. They're all alongside each other. They're not really in a line or anything. And while we've got the front half that are actually trying to race, the back half are really just not really driving properly at all. This race is back underway. Arsa and Rhino leads us away. Haroldinho, not a bad restart at all. He's closing up, as is Dr. X Amy. Dr. X Amy on Haroldinho. Can they get it done around the outside? Wheel to wheel, Nuke OCE and I'm an Ubertron as well! And that is a spin. Nuke goes straight on and hits Dr. X Amy, whose race has been absolutely ruined. And Dex, it's the Golden Goose in second place. I'm an Ubertron has found his way in second place, and that is spine-tingling stuff as Gordo gets past him into second, and Gordo has found a way back in this race, as well as Jules Daniel, who's in 8th. And now Laker fan as well is in 6th. All the top 7 who have no penalties are right in the mix here. Yeet McFleet up into 9th again and 8th. And DeBoy Luke in 11th. And incident from DeBoy Luke and beat OCE, and they both retire. This is becoming farcical. And I think Nuke OCE is just on a mission to take out everyone. Isai and Rhino. Gordo, safety car. And this is going to be an exciting finish. I'm not sure if Nuke OCE is going to be able to get away with much more of this. I think the Discord's going to be popping off at the moment.
That is actually mental. Two DNFs off the start, plus a plethora of other problems. Even before the restart, they were all bunched up racing, and then that just, I mean, you see the consequences of that come out in spades.
Skits now, in 4th.
Isar and Rhino will not pit, so he'll be.
Skits is pitting.
Skits is, but Isar and Rhino is the only one on genuinely old hards in the top 5 that all are fighting for the lead, given they all are penalty free. Gordo on relatively fresh softs. Watch out for him at the restart. I'm an Ubertron. Our golden goose, shall we say, Jados, is well and truly in it. And dab it up. He's just, I mean, he's flown a bit under the radar. Meanwhile, Laker fan certainly has not, and he has clawed his way from 15th or 14th at the restart to 5th, and well and truly in contention, penalty free on the softs.
6th as well.
Yeet McFleet. He does have a penalty though, which could hinder him from making up some genuine places. When I'm pretty sure there will only be around, I don't know, 3-4 laps to go after the restart, and then obviously OCE Extra I think seems to be the biggest winner if all positions stay the same, because he will gain 4 positions or 3 positions Three
Well,
positions, I can't
after
do
a
maths.
relatively normal week in Silverstone, we've gone back to where I think very Spa-like this race, because the action's happening so fast we can't follow it. Cars have gone from the back of the grid back up to the front in just the click of a finger, to be honest. And Iman Ubertron is he's able to take advantage of this action every single time. It's uncanny how well he's been able to do it. And we'll look at the severity of all the penalties. Jules Daniel has 5. That eliminates him out of any sort of contention. Nuke still has his drive-through, which he will get disqualified for if he doesn't serve it. And Dr. X Amy, I am heartbroken, to be honest, because Nuke OCE was extremely careless going to turn 1. Dr. X Amy found themselves in second place and was just taken out, which was obviously very disappointing. And I think Nuke OCE will be getting a lot of penalties, as well as Laker Fan. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. It's pretty speechless.
It is. Haldino in the pits. His race looked all set, but I think he was just a bystander who got impacted by that first corner or restart carnage.
Yeah.
But Nuke OCE is on an absolute rampage right now.
Well, it's going to be very interesting this restart as well. We're looking for Gordo, who's probably in the best position on softs, as well as Iman Ubertron, who is on relatively young medium tyres. Yeet McFleet is probably, if he didn't have a penalty, wouldn't be out of contention either. But I can't see Ice Iron Rhino defending 4 laps with the state of the tyres. To be fair, a lot of it has been under the safety car, but he's going to need to fire up those hards extremely quickly if he wants to stay afloat in this race, or he'll need a little bit more carnage behind him to save him. But we're definitely going to have a look back at some of the events for this race, because I don't know the full extent to what has happened, especially towards the back of the grid. But we will see. Safety car in this lap. Skits is on fresh softs with no penalties either. Could be get interested, as Gordo is really ushering Ice Iron Rhino along. And a couple overtakes here and there. People getting a little bit too excited. And Ice Iron Rhino needs to be smart about this restart. And Gordo's right on the back of him. A lot of tyre warming up going on here, Dex. And for the final time, the race is back underway, and Gordo, not quite underway, but Gordo tried to make a move early on, and Ice Iron Rhino does get a little bit of an advantage, but Gordo is hounding him, and so is Iman Ubertron behind. A lot of weaving from Ice Iron Rhino, getting some heat into the tyres. Gordo doesn't make a move down to the first corner. Yeet McFleet almost gets up into 4th, loses 3 places though. And Laker Fan as well. And Iman Ubertron gets past Yeet McFleet. Oh, Gordo spun, Dex. Gordo has fallen out of any contention, and that is devastating. He was in a prime position. I believe Iman Ubertron might have spun him. Jules Daniel up into 4th place. Laker Fan in 3rd. Iman Ubertron within DRS range, obviously not on for a couple more laps, but he's looking threatening. And Zippy Bumper up into 6th, and Dab It Up just manages to keep the car on the road. And Skits flies through into 7th, already gained 3 places on this lap alone. And Laker Fan, Jules Daniel getting mighty close as well. He's in a pretty good position. And he's going to try and go down the inside, almost makes contact. But with that 5-second penalty, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it done. Yeet McFleet getting very close as well. He's trying to get back into this race, and all 5 cars really banked up here. This could get interesting. Yeet McFleet trying to chase down Jules Daniel, who's pulling away, and he's going to try and have a go at Laker Fan. Oh, he's braked very late, and that's serious front wing damage. The end plates come off. Yeat McFleet goes through, and some impatience from Jules Daniel there has cost him. He probably would have gotten Laker Fan down the next straight. I'm an Ubertron only 2/10 behind Ice Iron Rhino, and he couldn't quite get it. But Laker Fan and Yeat McFleet going at it, and Yeat McFleet going around down the inside, got him. Into third place is Yeat McFleet with a penalty, but this is a class drive from him to get back into this race, and it's wheel to wheel again. Jules Daniel with another penalty, and Zippy Bumper gets past him, or Jules Daniel might just stay ahead here. It's very tight action, bit of contact, and Jules Daniel has spun, and that just sums it up for him this afternoon. Really devastating, and now Yeat McFleet getting interested on I'm an Ubertron. Ice Iron Rhino is managing to pull away very impressively. And Dex, what are your thoughts on that restart? That was action everywhere, skid spins.
Oh, it was hard to keep up, to be honest. I had to lie down for a second because I couldn't handle it. Like Jules Daniel, I mean, he's been in and amongst it for the better part of this race, but the impatience took off the end plate, and then from there, I mean, obviously he spun. He's down into, 12th or second last in this race, and that's alright. But what I'm focusing mostly on here, Jados, is the fact that I'm an Ubertron, touch wood, as he's getting absolutely hounded by Yeat McFleet, who passes him. You can just see the pace of this young, soft tyres is just how Yeat McFleet likes it. And I'm a Ubertron on older mediums can do nothing but just wave.
Oh, and Laker Fan getting interested too.
Laker Fan wants a little piece of I'm an Ubertron. Ubertron, he's staunch in defence once again. They've both got DRS. And will Laker Fan launch one down the inside? No, he won't. They'll hold position for now. Yeat McFleet, he's still got the penalty, so both I'm an Ubertron and Laker Fan are in the podium places as of now. But Yeat McFleet, he's absolutely hounding Ice Iron Rhino. As we look, he's 3/10. He got an excellent exit out of that turn 8, approaching turn 9 and 10. What can Ice Iron Rhino do? He's on 16 lap old hards. That has got to be some excellent driving for him just to stay ahead up until this point. But obviously he's got about 1.5 laps to go, just under, and he'll have to defend for his life. If he wants the track position win. I'm an Ubertron and Laker Fan still in amongst it. Scroll down. Oh, dab it up!
Oh, he's retired.
He's retired. He's lost his front wing.
We'll stay up front for the moment, though, because Yeat McFleet needs to get past Ice Iron Rhino urgently if he wants to gain any more places in this race. It's going to have to be in this straight. 3/10 the difference, but I'm an Ubertron is not out of this yet. He's going to try and catch Yeat McFleet and Ice Iron Rhino. Here he comes down the outside. Can he get it done? Will he switch it back? Can he get the good exit? We've got the next part of DRS here. And he hasn't gotten the greatest exit, and I don't think he's going to be able to pass, but Yeat McFleet might be able to steal on Ice Iron Rhino, who has driven unbelievably well if he can bring it home on this last lap.
Ooh.
Yeat McFleet has a brilliant exit. He's going to go wheel to wheel. No, he's going to hold off as Skits retires as well. And can Yeat McFleet get down the inside? No, not quite. And he'll hang on for a little bit, and he does touch Ice Iron Rhino, and he'll get in front, I think. He does.
Ooh,
oh, it's wheel to wheel. They're going.
Turn 10.
Ice Iron Rhino's got him. I'm an Ubertron getting interested out the back as well. Remember, Ice Iron Rhino, I'm an Ubertron doesn't have any penalties. Yeat McFleet moves over. I'm an Ubertron into second place and pretty close as well. Can he gain those 3/10 into the last part of this track? Ice Iron Rhino needs to make no mistakes whatsoever. And I'm an Ubertron needs to get a fantastic exit out of this corner and use every single thing he has got left in that car. Can he get the pace? He's closing. Will he have a dive into the final corner? Or will he stick behind? I think Ice Iron Rhino's just going to hold on. Or has I'm an Ubertron got the perfect exit? Ice Iron Rhino's blocked him and he's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix by 0.6 tenths. What an unbelievable finish to this race. I'm an Ubertron at the perfect exit. but Ice Iron Rhino stayed in front, moved his car over, and what a stunner. What a finish to this race. Like a Fan manages to get the final spot on the podium, although it is extremely unlikely that will stand. Yeet McFleet in fourth. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. 600ths is the gap between 1 and 2. I thought Ice Iron Rhino was going to put him into the pit wall, to be honest.
I thought so
that's
too.
That's how far he moved across, and I mean, there would have been serious repercussions for that. But Ice Iron Rhino, 18 lap old hards, chose not to pit. Yeet McFleet pitted onto the softs. There were 2 safety cars which prolonged the life of both the softs, of pretty much the whole grid, the mediums, and obviously his hards. And he drove superbly in order to finish that race on top. And oh my goodness, 600ths.
Well,
no matter what, it is still a win.
He certainly deserved to win Ice Iron Rhino. And what a way to get your first win in league racing. Fantastic race from all parties up front. I'm a Nubatron. So close, but he does inherit the lead of the championship, as you can see. And that was fantastic once again, Dex. Ice Iron Rhino first, I'm an Ubertron second, and completing the podium, Like a Fan. Yeet McFleet in fourth. And as we scroll down, a lot of DNFs. But that was a stunning race. Had everything you could have asked for. And if we look at the pit stops, To Boy Luke had 6. OC Extra had 5. And Dex, try and put that into words.
I can't, to be honest. I mean, I'm trying to get my head around this race as I am trying to get my head around the Arabic pronunciation of this track. It had everything. It had pit stops, safety cars, DNFs. Had 6 DNFs. It had, I mean, little spins, little battles, excellent battles. It had everything going down to the wire. I mean, it looked 4/10 going into the final corner for I'm an Ubertron. He turns that into 6 100ths. Probably could have taken the lead of the race and won if Ice Iron Rhino hadn't defended for his life, which I'm not blaming him, to be honest. I do that too, but oh my goodness, that is fantastical.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that race as much as we did. Once again, another classic here on a Sunday afternoon. Ice Iron Rhino brings it home. And thank you for watching. We'll see you hopefully again next week.